Hi, I'm Alex from Region Offroad, and I'm going to show you the Jeep Wrangler YJ wiper linkage bushings that we manufacture and sell. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is basically just an unboxing of what you're going to get from us. Inside you're going to find instructions which have photos and are pretty detailed in the process. And then the 4 wiper linkage bushings, which I'll show you here. One of the most important things here with this is identifying the bushings correctly and getting them in the right location. So the first one here is the motor bushing. This one is open on both sides, and it has these notches on the top of it. The second one here that's open on both sides is the driver's side pivot bushing. It has a curved top to it with no notching. The third one is the arm-to-arm bushing. It's closed on the top, it's flat on the top, and it's notched on the bottom. And the last one is the passenger side pivot bushing. It has a ridge on the top, it's closed on the top, and it has a thick base to it with no notching. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is the components from the factory wiper linkage. And these are all the same for every year of YJ, from 87 to 95. There was never any changes in these. So this is what you're going to need and what you're going to look for. The first thing is the pivots. So this is the passenger side pivot. It's pretty easy identifiable by the ball because it's a round ball. And I'm going to show it compared to the driver's side pivot, which has a much larger ball, which is flat on the top. And you can see that the passenger side pivot, it has a little flat spot, but it's mostly rounded on the top. So you want to identify those. The next thing is identifying the arms and the way they go. So you've got the long arm and the short arm. With the long arm, it's going to have a pivot ball on one end. This goes towards the driver's side and towards the back of the Jeep. The open end without the pivot ball goes towards the passenger side. The other arm here is the short arm, which goes towards the driver's side. When I take these out, I draw an M on them because it's a little harder to tell the difference between the two of these, so I draw an M for motor. So it actually goes this way. And when it goes in, it goes the opposite way as far as the stamping goes. So on the long arm, where these ridges are stamped out, these face towards the back of the Jeep. When the short arm goes in, these ridges face towards the front of the Jeep. It's going to fit together this way. All right, so now I'm going to show the installation of these bushings. And it's really important to get these put in the right way the first time. It does cause some wear to them putting these in because you are forcing them into the wiper arms. So you don't want to be repeatedly putting these in, taking them out, reinstalling them. So make sure you figure out where they go first, the correct orientation, put them in one time. That being said, I've tested these where I've installed, removed multiple times, then put them in the Jeep, ran the wipers. They hold up. But for the best results, do it once, do it right the first time. So the passenger side one is first here, and the easiest way that I've found to do this is to lay the bushing down flat on the table, and this goes for pretty much all of them. Set the wiper arm over the top of it, and then push down on the wiper arm to force it onto the bushing, just like that. And it is a tight fit once it goes on there. You can see that it goes on and it does not move at all once it's on. All right, so the next one we're going to install is the driver's side pivot bushing. And this one goes in from the back side here, right next to this pivot ball. So place it in there, and then the way I do this one is take it like towards the edge of the table here and push it from the opposite side to snap it in like that. All right, next one I'm going to show is the motor bushing. This one goes also from the back side, and you're going to place it in there just like that with the notch side towards the back of the Jeep. Same thing, put it on the edge of the table and snap it in like that. And they are tough to snap in, but that's because the fit is tight and you want it to be that way. All right, and the last bushing here is the arm-to-arm bushing. This one goes from the front of the short arm, so it goes the opposite of the way that the motor bushing went in. And same thing you want to do is put it in there, put it down on the table, and snap it into place, just like that. All right, next thing I'm going to show is installing the pivots. So this is the passenger side pivot here, and you got the passenger side pivot bushing there. When you're putting these in for real, put some grease on these pivot balls. I'm not doing it here because I'm just doing this for demonstration, but it will make them go in a little bit easier, and it'll also help, you know, make the lifespan of these longer by having them greased. But you want to get it, you know, as best you can to where it's straight in there. It's not crooked at all. Push from the back of the bushing with pliers and pop it into the bushing like that. And it's a nice tight fit in there once it's installed. All right, next is the driver pivot. And you're gonna place this one in from the front here as well. Get your pliers and squeeze from the back side here to pop that one into place. Just like that. All right, so pretty much at this point, this is the way you want to fish this thing into the Jeep, is the two pieces separate. So you've got your long arm and your short arm put together here. So this is going to fish through the larger hole that's the passenger side. Get your pivots installed into the windshield. Install your pivot nuts, which, by the way, if you need those, I also manufacture and sell those in aluminum. They're much better than the factory ones. And then you're going to connect your motor arm bushing to the motor, which I'm not going to show here because I don't have a motor sitting here to use right now to show it, but snaps onto the motor the same way. There's a C-clip that goes onto the back side. Then you're going to need to fish your motor with the short arm through the smaller opening, which is on the driver's side. Once you get both of them inside the Jeep, then you just need to connect the two arms together with this last bushing here, which is done same way the other bushings go on. Snap it onto that ball, and once it's inside the Jeep, this is the way it's going to look in there with your two arms assembled and all four bushings. All right, so that's it for the installation of these. These are the only correct wiper bushings you can get for a YJ anywhere. Nobody else has these. These weren't sold for years. Even Jeep never even sold replacements for these. So, you know, we made these available because I've got a YJ, as you can see, and I needed them. A lot of time went into getting these right. You know, we did a lot of testing with fit, with different materials. These are made from nylon. They're made from a process called multi-jet fusion. They're made in the United States. The material was picked to have good flexibility so that they can pop on and off these pivot balls without cracking. But they were also, you know, made to be chemical resistant so they can get grease and oil on them without damaging them. They have good resistance for temperature, for cold and hot temperature, so they're going to last through the winter and the summer, no problem. And they're super strong. The fit is perfect, and thanks for watching.